What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Yammy Noob. We're here weekends with Yam once again, and we are talking gloves. The reason we're talking gloves is because MotoGP happened here this past weekend, and I gotta say, Spite, I saw a lot of people rolling around not wearing gloves.
Why? Why would you? It's like not wearing a helmet.
Yeah, if you guys have never ridden a motorcycle, you might think that gloves might not be super necessary, right? Because you need all the controls on the bike, and you gotta make sure you feel that throttle and feel the brakes. But much like a helmet, I would wager to say that wearing gloves can be very uncomfortable if you don't have gloves on. If you get hit with a little pebble on the knuckle or a bug, some bugs are huge, right? Like you get hit in the top of the fingers here with a really hard cicada or something, it's not gonna be fun.
Or if, say, for example, you're going 60 miles an hour over the natural sand grader that is asphalt, you go down, you'll kind of just rub all the meat off your hands and just leave a nice little bloody streak all the way down the highway.
Nubs all the way down. Gloves are really, really important for beginner riders, especially because when you're doing the slow speed stuff, that's when you're most at risk of falling off. And even if you're going 5 miles an hour, that is gonna hurt when your hands go down first, which is our natural instinct when we fall off the bike, is to put our hands down and try to protect ourselves. This will recall memories of when you were a kid and you fell skateboarding or riding your bicycle and you'd scrape up your hands real good. So today, we've got 3 levels of gloves we're gonna be talking about, and then we're actually gonna show our personal gloves as well to show what we like to ride in and what we actually use. So the first thing we're looking at today, these are literally workshop gloves that I have here in the shop that a lot of people might actually ride in, right? So you might look at this and you're like, well, it might be okay to jump on my motorcycle and ride this. I've got a little bit of padding and leather here, you know, maybe it'll do something.
Yeah, and you also see a lot of guys reaching for their like yellow leather work gloves that you find at like a hardware store.
Yeah.
Those ones that have the suede on the inside and they're usually a little bit baggy. They're really comfortable.
Yes.
But in terms of actual protection, minimal.
Yeah, and you'll see a lot of dirt bike gloves that kind of look like this because if you're gonna fall on soft dirt, you don't really need that much slide protection and abrasion protection, which is something we're actually gonna talk about today. So something like this, you could get away with if you're just doing slow speed stuff in a parking lot or riding in the back of a field somewhere on a dirt bike. Totally fine for that. However, you'll notice no impact, no abrasion, no knuckle protection. This is just basically fashion leather. If this hits asphalt at speed, it's gonna come off, I mean, in half a second. It's already coming off right here, and I've never taken it on the street.
It's also worth pointing out that they're not stitched for impact and sliding. They're just like single stitching. It'll explode basically when it hits the ground at speed.
Yeah.
It's really not designed for saving your hands from, you know, the cheese grater that is asphalt.
Nope, not at all. But if you move on to something like this EVS Ascent glove that we actually sell on shop.yammy.co, if you want, click the link down below. It's our best-selling glove. This is gonna be a very nice step up. You can already see here, this has impact protection right here. The stitching, as Spite mentioned, is actually designed to keep this glove together, and it actually has a good feel through it as well. You've got a huge knuckle protector here as well. It's not for punching your enemies or your friends, or if you're a Jixer bro, maybe your girlfriend or something.
Gotta do them like that.
I gotta do the Jixer boys like that. But no, it's designed to protect the overall shape of your hand here. And you got a lot of breathability too. The areas that are probably not gonna be impacted on this glove actually have a little bit of perforation, get you some airflow as well. And we really like this glove. It's actually really good for the price point. You get a lot of feel out of it. You got the touchpad on there too, a little for your cell phone.
Yeah, that's actually something that is really nice that a lot of manufacturers are getting into and still some aren't, which is baffling to me. But one thing that I like about an actual Moto glove like this is it's not a lot more expensive than some of the like fancier work gloves that you might reach for, again, at a hardware store, but it's designed to actually save your hand.
Yeah, these are literally under $60 on the store, and over something like this, I mean, look at the two of those. That difference is massive, right?
Yeah.
And there's a big difference here.
The feel, since they're designed for you to be on a motorcycle, you actually have feel. They're pre-curved too. They're designed for you to be riding in them, which, I mean, Go figure, right?
Yeah, like you see here, each knuckle has a nice articulation on it, extra leather, a little extra padding of the top here. But compared to something like we're about to look at, which is a proper race glove, this does pale in comparison a little bit. Looking at the materials here, made out of leather, polyester, polyamide, polyurethane, spandex, and rubber as well, whereas this is basically just made out of, you know, a little bit of maybe leather tops. I don't even know if that's leather, maybe pleather of some sort. Yeah, not very important over there. Now, you move on to something like this Tai Chi glove that I have, the GP Evo. This is actually my personal track day glove that I wear. What a beautiful specimen this is. I have to take off my watch to put it on. This is a top of the line race glove. And the reason you want this on a racetrack is because we were talking earlier about how when you come off, the asphalt is a cheese grater, right?
Yeah.
On the track, you're going real fast and you're sliding really far usually when you come off. And usually you hit gravel, you hit asphalt, all kinds of variables there. You want to slide good and long. So this GP Evo here, it's got the gauntlet, it's got the extra bit on there. You cinch it up right there, boom, boom, boom. This is as good of a protection as your hand can possibly get. I mean, look at that padding right there.
Yeah, that's some serious, you could probably punch yourself a hole in some drywall with that if you're a Kyle.
Absolutely. It actually has even this extra flap here for even more protection on the side of the hand here. Each knuckle actually has its own plastic protector here as well, so every single little finger is going to be protected. There's a lot going on here. My favorite feature about this glove, and I really wish we sold it, we're going to try to get some Tai Chi stuff on the store. This is kangaroo leather on the palm here. So much feel to this glove. You would not expect a big track glove like this to have so much feel to the palms. Because of all this padding, but you actually get on the bike, you have so much clutch feel, so much throttle feel on the other one. And as I'll show you guys on my other set of gloves over here on the other side, I've actually battle tested these quite a bit. The fingers are actually splitting apart here a little bit. I need to get these re-stitched up. Otherwise, my sweet little fingies are gonna get nubbed down next time I fly off the track, which I'm going next weekend. But as you can tell here, I've battle tested these a little bit, abrasion protection right there. All my track day stuff, my hands were completely fine after my nice little low side I had last time. But yeah, something like this though, I think a little bit overkill for street riding.
I would say a lot overkill. On a glove like this, one of the things that you're not getting is perforation. Airflow is not a consideration because they're like, well, I mean, you're going fast, you're probably gonna be cooling off a little bit. If you're sitting in traffic in there, it's gonna be like boiling kielbasa's.
Yeah. Not only that, but you're only going fast for a short amount of time. You're on track for 20, 30 minutes and then you're back in the pit and you're done, right? So yeah, something like this for a commute would be quite silly, really unnecessary. And it's another reason why we tell you guys that you don't really need a full suit to ride around on the street. Yes, the extra protection is great, but you end up looking a little silly and it's just not really designed for that at all. So, Spike, what do you wear on the daily? What glove do you have over there?
So this is my Revit Striker 3 that I wear, and I've taken this off-road, I've taken this just around town. I would not consider this like a sporty glove. It's not the biggest thing in terms of protection. It's got exactly what I need personally, and this is something that we'll mention a little bit later when we get to yours, because yours are beefier than mine. But the thing I like about these gloves here is full leather palm and the whole back, all the way from the tip of the finger to the like sort of high mid cuff here is just so breathable. And down here in Texas, I value breathability more so than I value, you know, crazy next level protection. These are still, you know, full CE rated gloves, but with, you know, some pretty stiff knuckle armor, but not so stiff that I can't move my hand. You know, I value the ability to move around. I can do up my helmet in these gloves. They have the touch screen fingers on the index and thumb. And these gloves, they're not expensive either. They're relatively cheap, all things considered. And for hands as big as mine are, you might find some of the Euro stuff a little bit tough to fit, but Revit always works really great for me.
Yeah, that's a big thing we want to mention too, is the gear is only going to work as well as it allows you to move and manipulate your bike. There's no point in getting a super big ass glove and gauntlet like this if it sacrifices the ability for you to control and manipulate your motorcycle. That is the most important thing at the end of the day. Your gloves can be as protective as you want, but if they get caught in a weird way between your throttle and your brake, it's gonna be awkward, especially as a beginner. You might roll on the throttle accidentally or whatever. You want gloves that you feel comfortable and natural in as well. So these are actually the gloves that I wear. They're another Tai Chi set, but they are not as intense as my race gloves. They're a short cuff right here. I think I've crashed in these a few times, it looks like as well. I'm seeing some tears and wears here. I think I looped the WR on these bad boys. So you see here, really big knuckle protection, and as Spite said, a big thing I value too is breathability. All my stuff here in Texas is breathable as it gets. I try to buy light colored gear. All my track gear is white as possible to reflect heat and get it off my body and perforate it. You see here, this glove, for whatever reason, just the first 2 fingers here are protected, and then this one isn't, which I actually just noticed today. But we have some leather, some carbon fiber here, which is pretty cool. A nice slider here as well. That's something I look for whenever I get a glove, is a nice slider at the palm, because that's gonna go down there. You want impact protection right there. And it is technically a short cuff, but it's got this extra little tab right here with a carbon fiber bit, which is gonna help out a little bit too. This works great for me for my kind of everyday bopping around street riding. Whenever we're testing bikes here, local, street-wise, I'm usually reaching for these and putting them on and having some fun with them.
And it's worth putting them side by side, because if you look at the what we're valuing, you can really tell the difference, because mine is pretty soft. It's, I mean, I have a little bit of impact protection here, but nothing nearly as slidable as this. This is basically designed for you to take a bounce and then nothing else, and it's you replace it. This is something that you could probably do a little bit of a low speed tip over. You could go maybe a little bit faster, go for a slide in it, and probably be okay. This is a once and done glove. And I value the breathability and the comfort more than the outright protection, because I know this is going to do enough for the street rider that I don't need so much the crazy carbon fiber stuff. But this is definitely more protection, and probably just a little bit less breathable. You know, you could get some serious protection and breathability out of your gloves.
Yeah, one thing I'm noticing as well is your feel through the palm here is just a little bit thicker than mine. That might be due to the fact that you're more okay with not having as much feel as I am. I'm a very big proponent of having as much feel through my gloves as possible, but I love this kind of like, you know, bigger piece of leather here. That makes me feel a little safer than this one over here. It's just a little thinner. But yeah, if this is going for one quick slide, it should be fine. But man, I just can't imagine going down and not wearing gloves at all.
No. No.
Yeah.
Next to your head, your hands are the thing that you're using the most. Like, if you're just try going through a day with just one hand. You know, or you know, just using a couple of fingers. It is definitely worth investing in a good quality pair of motorcycle gloves, because they really work. We've both gone down in motorcycle gloves and had them save our dear sweet fingies from the cheese grater.
For what it's worth, I had my really, really big accident back in 2017, and I busted up a lot of stuff in my body. My hands were not one of them. I'm totally fine on those. Yeah, I think no matter if you're an office worker, a construction worker, a neurosurgeon, or whatever it is that you do, I'm sure that your hands are worth protecting for you. And this is a very small investment. Again, little as under 60 bucks for this EVS Aston that we sell, and you'll be way better protected than something like this. The curve kind of goes up like this. Just a little bit more money gets you a lot more protection. So thanks for watching today's video. That was a little bit about gloves. What do you think about wearing gloves? Do you not wear gloves? Down in the comments, let me know, and then I will ban you from the YouTube channel if you don't wear gloves. Although I am sure we're gonna hear a lot from the Jixer boys, because I did a pretty untasteful joke for them. on the fly here. Did them dirty. We'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later. Well, look at you. You've made it to the end of another Yammy Noob video. You should consider yourself pretty lucky, because I have curated this one right over here for you to continue watching. It's probably just as good as the one you just saw. Unless you hated the one you just saw. I don't know, maybe leave me a comment down below about how much you hated it as well too. Or just keep watching this one. Make sure you keep watching Yammy Noob. Don't forget to keep watching Yammy Noob. That's the most important thing. Keep watching Yammy Noob.